Hi, welcome to my channel Cloud with Girish. In this video, I'm going to show you how to secure S3 static website with HTTPS using CloudFront and Certificate Manager. I already have my static website hosted on AWS S3. I also have Route 53 configured to use custom domain name. For this workshop, I'm going to use AWS console to create a certificate using AWS Certificate Manager. I will then create a distribution using CloudFront and link the S3 website with this distribution. This is an architecture pattern. We're going to access the HTTPS site using the CloudFront distribution, which is secure using the Certificate Manager and accessing an HTTP S3 bucket from the AWS S3 service. Let's get started. I'm going to review the HTTP S3 static website, create a certificate using ACM, configure CloudFront distribution, and then access HTTPS S3 static website. Prereq for this workshop is that there is already a S3 static website hosted in AWS S3. For this workshop, I have mine S3 HTTP website hosted in AWS S3 as below. It's using an HTTP protocol. That means it's not a secure URL. And it's not secured by SSL, which is HTTPS. As part of this workshop, as we work through, make sure you know your budget and watch your cost. Familiarize yourself with Cost Explorer. These are the services I'm going to use: AWS CloudFront, Cert Manager, AWS Budget, and Cost Explorer to monitor the cost. Two key services for this workshop. One is AWS Certificate Manager. This is to use ACM to create SSL certificate, and then CloudFront. CloudFront is the CDN service, content delivery network, and it's a CloudFront distribution that will be linked with S3 static website URL. First segment of this workshop is to generate an SSL certificate for the website domain. So once you log into AWS console, search for Certificate Manager, and from there click on Request Certificate. You can request a public certificate from Amazon or a private certificate from your organization cert authority. For this workshop, I will request a public certification from Amazon. So click on Request a public certificate and click on Next. Enter your domain name. You can add additional domain name, or you can use wildcard to ensure subdomains are also secured via certificate. In my case, I'm using a fully qualified domain name, girishbhatia.tech, and then I'm also using a subdomain, www.girishbhatia.tech. I need to validate the domain. There are two primary methods: DNS validation or email validation. Since I own this DNS, I'm going to pick DNS validation. So you need to select either a DNS validation or email validation. I'm going to just select DNS validation, and you will see in the next screen that it is showing a status as pending validation. And there are two CNAME entry, one for root domain and another is for subdomain. So here is the scenario that I have for this workshop. My domain is registered through domain registrar Namecheap, is the domain registrar in my case. Hosted zones are configured via AWS Route 53. SSL certificate is generated via ACM. ACM will generate the CNAME. I need to add those CNAME to Route 53. and then it should complete the validation process. Now, good to note that if you use Route 53 to manage your public DNS record, you can update your record directly through ACM. Since I'm using Namecheap, I have some of the additional steps here. So I'm creating here a CNAME record in Route 53. And once I add the CNAME record, I can see the status is issue. And please note that it may take up to 48 hours for new record to take in effect. And once changes are in effect, you should see the cert status move from pending validation to issue. Once certificate has been successfully issued, next step is to create a CloudFront distribution. I'm using AWS CloudFront service. It's a AWS CDN service. I'm going to create a distribution using this service. So let's, from the console, find the AWS CloudFront and click on create distribution. You need to provide an origin domain. In my case, it's a S3 bucket that I'm providing. Pick the default options here, HTTP only, HTTP port 80. Select the option which say redirect HTTP to HTTPS and leave all other settings as default. Select your price class. CDN has different price classes. Use all edge location. That's the best for the best performance, but it will pick any edge location. That means price-wise is also more expensive than picking use only selected region. In my case, I'm just picking use only North America and Europe. So that's the price class that will apply on this distribution. I'm going to add alternate domain name. So I'm adding girishbhatia.tech and also www.girishbhatia.tech. These are the domain and subdomain to access the website. I'm going to select the custom SSL certificate. And once I have selected the certificate, leave all other setting default and click on create distribution. Next, copy your domain name distribution and update a name in your domain manager. I will be updating this in Route 53 service in my example. So I'm selecting a record and updating the domain name distribution. Next, I'm creating a CNAME to route the subdomain to the root domain. So this is basically to route www.girishbhatia.tech request to the main domain, the root domain, girishbhatia.tech. I'll create this record, click on create records. And once this is completed, it completes the workflow to make this website secure. At this point in your browser, you can type your HTTP domain name or www subdomain. In my case, these are HTTP girishbhatia.tech or www.girishbhatia.tech. So you can see the website when I started this workshop, it was using an HTTP protocol. It did not have a SSL certificate attached to it, but now this site is showing that this is a secure site. It's using HTTPS protocol. My connection is secure, and it's basically like now HTTPS SSL is enabled on this website. Let's see it in action. I'm not going to configure the certificate and CloudFront distribution again, since I already have configured for my domain. But what I want to do is that access this website in a browser and show you that it's actually using an HTTPS protocol. let's type HTTP Girish Bhatia .tech, and it's redirecting the HTTP request to HTTPS. It's using a secure protocol. It's secured by AWS certificate. And if I say www.girishbhatia.tech, this is my subdomain, and it's again redirecting to the HTTPS girishbhatia.tech. And this really what we wanted to achieve with this workshop. So let's go back to our workshop. So we have seen it in browser by typing http girishbhatia.tech or www.girishbhatia.tech, that is getting redirected to an HTTPS website. Let's see the AWS services I have used for this workshop: AWS Budget and AWS Cost Explorer, just to monitor the cost. I'm using AWS S3 to host my static website, AWS Cert Manager, CloudFront, Route 53 to configure the HTTPS SSL protocol. So with this workshop, a HTTP S3 static website has been successfully configured using CloudFront CDN and AWS Certificate Manager. This site is now secure and will deliver content using HTTPS protocol. S3 CloudFront and ACM combination provides an easy and powerful way to host static content and deliver this content using CloudFront Content Delivery Network. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm working on some other interesting content on various AWS topics. These will be posted soon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.